everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and it's time for another Top 10 Tuesday. And this week I'm going to be doing my Top 10 favorite actresses. Last week I did my Top 10 favorite actors, so this week I thought I'd do my favorite actresses, so I'm gonna go ahead and get going. Coming in at number 10 is Emma Stone. I absolutely love Emma Stone. Pretty much everything she's in, I've at least enjoyed for the most part. She's been in a few movies in her early career that I wasn't like a huge fan of, like The House Bunny. I think that movie's okay, and I actually didn't care for her in that movie because she kind of got on my nerves in that one. But aside from The House Bunny, I like most of the stuff she's in, especially movies like Superbad and La La Land, Easy A, The Favorite. Those are all movies that I really love. I like her quite a bit as Gwen Stacy in the Amazing Spider-Man movies. To me, she's the highlight of those movies. But pretty much everything that she's in, I absolutely love. The Help. There's just a lot of really good movies. Cruella. I enjoy most of her stuff. The Zombieland movies are pretty good. So she's one of those actresses that almost everything she's in I've loved. So she's number 10. And number 9 is Hathaway. This is an actress that is one of those that's cool to hate on it. I've never understood the hate on her. I've loved most of the movies she's in, although I don't think she has ever quite made it as big or as good as she did in her early career, although she does have a few movies in recent years that are really good, like Interstellar and The Dark Knight Rises. I love both of those movies quite a bit. But my favorite movies of hers are The Princess Diaries and Ella Enchanted. I just love those movies. Ella Enchanted is probably my most favorite of hers, but then The Princess Diaries is definitely a close second. But I also love Brokeback Mountain and Havoc and The Devil Wears Prada and Hoodwinked, and she's been in some pretty good movies. She's been in a few duds too, here and there, but for the most part I like most of her movies. So Anne Hathaway is number 9, and number 8 is Emma Roberts. She's always been one of my favorite actresses ever since I was a kid. There was just something about her on the show Unfabulous. I knew that she was going to be somebody I wanted to follow, and I've been following her career ever since Unfabulous started, and she's really evolved as an actress. I think she's been in some really good movies, and she's been in some pretty good teen movies too, like Aquamarine. That's one that I've always kind of had a lot of fun with. And Nancy Drew, I think she was really great in that movie. That's one of my favorite roles of hers. And Hotel for Dogs, another one of my favorites. That I feel that movie is really underrated. I might have to review that one sometime. And I love her in Scream 4. She was one of my favorite Scream killers. I hope that somehow they'll make it where she survived that movie and ends up being one of the big killer reveals in 6 or 7. That would be so awesome. But I love Scream 4, and I think she's excellent as Jill. But there's a lot of other movies that she's in, but those are just my main favorites off the top of my head. So Emma Roberts is number 8, and number 7 is Viola Davis. She's another actress that pretty much if I hear she's in a movie, I get somewhat interested because she's just such an amazing actress. She's one of the best actresses around nowadays, for sure. I absolutely love most of the stuff I've seen her in. The only movie she's in that I didn't care for too much was the first Suicide Squad, but even that one I liked and everything. But I liked her even more in the second one, even though I liked her and disliked her because the character isn't very likable, but she did such a great job playing Amanda Waller in the Suicide Squad and everything in the second one. She just was really great in there. But I also love her in The Help, which is the movie that really kind of put her on the map for me, made me know who she is and stuff. I love her in that, and I really liked her in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. She did a really good job in that movie, and of course Fences, which I think she actually won an Oscar for. She deservedly won, because that's probably my favorite performance of hers so far is Fences. She just gave such a raw and engaging performance in that movie, but I love most of her stuff that I've seen. So Viola Davis is number 7, and number 6 is Queen Latifah. She's another one that I used to watch all the time as a kid. She was in a lot of movies that I grew up with, like Bringing Down the House and the Ice Age movies, and Chicago, and she really kind of hit it big in the early 2000s as far as a movie career goes. She was big as a rapper in the 90s, and I love a lot of her music too. But my favorite movie of hers is probably Hairspray. I just absolutely loved her in that movie, but also love her in Secret Life of Bees and Bessie, and there's a lot of movies that she's in that, and a lot of times she has small roles in early 2000s movies that I loved, like The Country Bears, or she would pop up in just different movies as a small role. Barbershop 2, and then she got her spin-off movie Beauty Shop, which I liked that one quite a bit. Now I haven't seen Barbershop 3, so I don't know if she's in that. I've always been curious if she is, but I don't think she is. But everything I've seen of hers I've liked quite a bit. So Queen Latifah is number 6, and number 5 is Scarlett Johansson. This is one of the actresses that I've been a fan of ever since I was a kid. There's a lot of movies that I used to watch of hers as a kid, like The Horse Whisperer, which is probably one of my most favorite movies of her. Even though she's just a supporting role in here, she just does an amazing job, and she was still like a teenager when she did that movie. But Manny and Lowe was another one that I used to watch as a kid, and she was actually a kid in that movie. I've always liked that one quite a bit. I really liked Eight-Legged Freaks as a kid too, even though that's not necessarily a super great movie. It's a fun little B movie with giant spiders and stuff. I've always kind of liked that one. And then as she got older, movies like Ghost World and Lost in Translation, I absolutely love them. And Jojo Rabbit. There's a lot of recent movies that I love too. The Jungle Book. She does the voice of Kaa in that, and which is very weird because she has that sexy voice and is doing the voice of a snake, and it's just very weird watching it the very first time I saw it. I'm not gonna lie. She's in the movie Sing, and of course Black Widow and the Marvel movies. Can't forget her. I love her in all the Marvel movies that she's in, especially Endgame. I think that was her best performance as a character. But she was great in her own movie and all the other MCU movies that she's in. And I just love Scarlett Johansson. She's always just been one of those actresses that I've always kind of had a liking to and everything. There's just something about her. She has a good screen presence. So she's number 5. And number 4 is Kathy Bates. This is an actress that I've always really just absolutely loved. I love her in movies like Misery and The Water Boy, Annie. But she's one of those actresses that's had just a lot of really good supporting roles. She's a really great character actress, and she's just always good in everything she's in. Every movie that I've seen her in, Fried Green Tomatoes, and she's been in a lot of really good movies, but those are just some of the ones off the top of my head. But I really like Kathy Bates and everything, so she's number 4. And number 3 is Julia Roberts. I actually personally think she might be the most talented person out of my favorite actresses, but she isn't my most favorite actress. But I love a lot of her movies, especially Pretty Woman, though. That was the movie that kind of introduced me to her. But I also love Sleeping with the Enemy. I think that movie is great. Mystic Pizza, Flatliners, Eat, Pray, Love, The Mexican. There's a lot of movies with Julia Roberts where she's just really, really good in all of those movies and everything. She always gives a top-notch performance. August Osage County, that's another movie of hers that I like quite a bit. Charlotte's Web, she did the voice of Charlotte in that. She was pretty good. But I love most of her movies that I've seen. America's Sweethearts, there's a lot. The Ocean's movies. She's just been in a lot of really great movies. So Julia Roberts is number 3, and number 2 is Sandra Bullock. She's another actress that I just absolutely love, and every time she has a new movie out, I'm always looking forward to it and everything. She's always been one of my favorite actresses. I love her in movies like The Proposal and Miss Congeniality, The Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood, Practical Magic, The Net, Demolition Man, Speed. There's a lot of movies with Sandra Bullock that I love. Yeah, she's definitely one of my favorite actresses. There are just, like I said, there are tons of movies of hers that I love. She does have a few duds and everything here and there. Mainly Speed 2. That movie was just awful. The first Speed I loved, but the second one was pretty bad. But there are some really good movies that she's done and everything. So she's definitely one of my favorite actresses. So Sandra Bullock is number 2. Before I do my number 1, here are a few honorable mentions. Meryl Streep. I know a lot of people would have expected her to be on this list, or maybe even number 1, because she is such a great actress, and I do think she is a really great actress. I don't always love her movies, but she always does give top-notch performances, so I can't deny that she's a really great one. But I've only seen so many movies of hers. I haven't even seen everything she's in, or a lot of movies she's in. I've only seen probably good, maybe 2 handfuls of movies of hers, so she's one that I like quite a bit, but I wouldn't say she's one of my most favorites. Another one that I like quite a bit is Julianne Moore. She's been in quite a few good movies like The Big Lebowski and The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, The Lost World, 9 Months, Chloe. She's been in quite a few movies that I've liked quite a bit too, and everything. So I thought I'd give her an honorable mention. Amanda Seyfried. She's been in quite a few good movies. I mainly love her in Mamma Mia, but I loved her in Mean Girls and Alpha Dog and a lot of her older movies too. I haven't seen a lot of her newer ones, but everything she's been in that I've seen I've liked, and everything. So Drew Barrymore. I absolutely love Drew Barrymore. She's a really great actress. Especially loved her in movies like The Wedding Singer and 51st Dates, but I also loved her in Ever After and E.T., Poison Ivy, Boys on the Side, Riding in Cars with Boys. She's been in a lot of really good movies, so Drew Barrymore is definitely one that deserves an honorable mention. Sally Field, I think she's a really great actress. Love a lot of stuff of hers that I used to watch all the time as a kid with my grandma, like The Flying Nun and Gidget. I used to watch those shows with her all the time, but she's also been in some really good movies like Smokey and the Bandit and Mrs. Doubtfire and stuff. So yeah, I really like Sally Field quite a bit. And I was also going to mention Kristen Stewart. She's another actress that I think is a really good actress. She's done a lot of good indie movies, doesn't get the credit she deserves and everything because of Twilight, but she's so much more than Twilight. She's a much better actress than people give her credit for, and everything. Anna Faris, I absolutely love her in Scary Movie and Smiley Face and Waiting and Mama's Boy and What's Your Number. There's a lot of good movies with Anna Faris. She's one of my favorite actresses and everything. She's been in quite a few bad movies too, but she's been in quite a few good ones, so she's one that I like, but I'm kind of mixed on her nowadays because some of her movies aren't the best. That's why she didn't quite make the list. Michelle Williams, I've loved everything I've seen her in, and they're like Brokeback Mountain, Dick, Blue Valentine, Oz the Great and Powerful. Pretty much everything she's in I've liked except for Venom Let There Be Carnage, but she was actually the highlight of that movie for me. But I love Michelle Williams, and she definitely deserves an honorable mention. Amy Adams, I can't believe I forgot to even put her on this top 10 list because I love Amy Adams so much, but I am really far behind on a lot of her movies. So, but the ones I have seen, like Junebug and Enchanted and Night at the Museum 2, and I've only seen a few of Amy Adams movies, probably a handful, but all the ones I've seen I've absolutely loved. Arrival is really good. I've actually seen quite a bit more than I'm waiting on, but I think she's a really good actress too and everything. So yeah, those are my honorable mentions, and coming in at number 1 is Reese Witherspoon. She is easily my favorite actress out of all of the actresses that I love. She's definitely my favorite. I absolutely love Reese Witherspoon. She's been in so many movies that I've always loved, like Sweet Home Alabama. I used to watch that all the time as a kid. But I also love like Legally Blonde and The Man in the Moon, which is probably my favorite movie of hers. Far Off Place is a pretty underrated one. Fear, Cruel Intentions, Walk the Line. She's just been in so many really great movies, and she's easily my favorite actress. Like I said, there are tons of movies of hers that I love. She's been in a few duds too, but most actors have at least 1 or 2 duds under their belt, and she definitely does. But she has more good, way more good than bad, and she's easily my favorite actress. Are there more talented actresses out there? Definitely, but there's something about Reese Witherspoon I just absolutely love. She has that screen presence that just every time she's on screen, she just makes the movies better and everything. I absolutely love her. So she's easily number 1. But anyway, let me know in the comments who your favorite actresses are, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.